George Foreman, a name that echoes through the annals of boxing history, didn't just rely on raw power to dominate the ring. Sure, his sledgehammer punches could knock out a freight train, but there was finesse behind the fury, particularly in his devastating uppercut, or as some might call it, the ger hook. That upward blast, launched from a coiled stance, turned chins into glass and opponents into memories. It wasn't a fluke, it was a weapon forged through grit, instinct, and a relentless drive to evolve. For any boxer looking to elevate their game, digging into how Foreman honed this punch offers a masterclass in blending strength with precision. Start with the stance. Foreman's foundation was a fortress. He didn't dance around like a featherweight. He planted himself, knees bent, weight distributed like a predator ready to spring. That low center of gravity wasn't just for show. It gave him the leverage to explode upward. If you're building your own uppercut, don't skip this. Stand too tall and you're a skyscraper begging to topple. Too loose, and the power leaks out like water from a cracked bucket. Foreman's trick was balance. Solid enough to absorb a hit, coiled enough to unleash hell. Practice sinking into your stance, feeling the tension in your legs until it's second nature. Now the hips, where the real juice comes from. Foreman didn't just throw his fist, he threw his whole body into that ger hook. Picture him in the ring, torso twisting like a tornado, hips pivoting to channel force from the floor up through his knuckles. It's physics with a mean streak. To mimic this, focus on rotation. When you throw an uppercut, don't let your arm do all the work. Whip those hips around like you're swinging a bat. The punch should feel like it's ripping through the air, not floating. Foreman's opponents didn't see a fist. They felt a freight train because he turned his body into a single, violent unit. The arm itself? That's the delivery system. Foreman kept his elbow tight, not flailing out like some rookie swatting flies. The motion was short, sharp, a piston firing straight up. Too wide and you're telegraphing the punch. Might as well send a postcard saying, "Block me." Too slow, and it's a gift to your opponent's guard. Watch old footage of Foreman dismantling Joe Frazier. That ger hook snaps like a mousetrap, catching chins before brains can register the danger. Drill this in the mirror, elbow in, fist rising like a rocket, palm facing you at the end. Speed and snap, not a lazy arc. Timing, though, that's the soul of it. Foreman didn't just fling uppercuts into the void. He waited, watched, then struck when the iron was hot. Against Frazier, he let the smaller man charge in. Then bam, ger hook to the jaw, like a bear swatting a salmon mid-leap. You've got to read the fight, feel the rhythm. Is your opponent dropping their hands, leaning in too close? That's your window. Shadow box with intent. Imagine their guard slipping, then fire. It's not about spamming the punch, it's about landing it when it counts. Foreman turned fights into highlight reels because he knew when to pull the trigger. Power's the next piece, and Foreman had it in spades. But it wasn't just muscle, though those tree trunk arms didn't hurt. It was technique amplifying the raw stuff. He'd dip slightly before the punch, loading his legs like springs, then unleash everything in one brutal surge. You can build this too. Squats, deadlifts, medicine ball twists, anything to juice up your lower body. The ger hook isn't an arm punch, it's a full-body detonation. Foreman once said hitting the heavy bag felt like chopping wood, and that's your goal. Every uppercut should thud like an axe splitting oak. Defense ties it all together. Foreman didn't leave himself open after throwing the ger hook. He'd roll back, shoulders up, ready to counter or absorb. Throwing a big punch is great, but if you're eating a fist right after, it's a hollow victory. Practice flowing from the uppercut into a guard, chin tucked, hands high. Foreman took shots, sure, but he didn't make it easy. Against Ali in Zaire, he stayed tight even as the rope-a-dope wore him down. Your uppercut's only as good as your ability to survive what comes next. Repetition's the grindstone. Foreman didn't wake up with that ger hook. He built it, punch by punch, bag by bag. Hit the heavy bag until your knuckles ache, then keep going. Work the mitts with a partner, dialing in accuracy. Aim for the pad's sweet spot, not just wild swings. Shadow box, to groove the motion into your muscle memory. Foreman's power came from years of sweat, and yours will too. There's no shortcut. The ring doesn't reward half measures. Finally, mindset. Foreman stepped in with a quiet menace, like he knew the fight was already his. That ger hook wasn't just a punch. It was a statement. Build yours with the same intent. Every rep, every drill, you're crafting a weapon. Visualize the impact, the way it'll lift your opponent's head, the crowd's gasp. Foreman didn't doubt. He delivered. Train like you mean it, and when the moment comes, you'll throw that uppercut like it's got your name on it. Mastering a punch like Foreman's gear hook isn't about copying a legend. It's about stealing the principles and making them yours. Stance, hips, snap, timing, power, defense, reps, belief, that's the recipe. Work it, and you won't just improve your boxing game, you'll redefine it.